Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 3rd of February and we are going to deal with two very important topics which are in news. The RBI on PAYTM payment banks. The RBI has debarred the PAYTM payment banks to take any deposits or to facilitate any credit activities from its accounts. This has been done on unknown accounts by the RBI, means the reason is not clear why RBI has taken this step. But yes, this step is not going to harm the customers. The customer can withdraw their deposits from their payment bank accounts indefinitely, and it is generally believed that RBI has taken this step because PAYTM Payments Bank was not able to meet the KYC mandates, as well as there were some relaxations on the information technology standards. There are some Chinese investors which bank the parent company of PAYTM, that is 197 Communications. Threat of data leakage is also there. Second is Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund. The government has extended allocation to this particular fund till 2025-26 in the interim budget passed this year. This is basically a fund which has been created under the Infrastructure Development Fund. It is a central sector scheme where promotion of infrastructure creation will be there for facilitating the animal husbandry sector or subcomponent of agriculture. This is being done with the aim of increasing productivity in this particular domain, thereby increasing the farmer incomes in or involved in this particular domain. So let's get started with the first topic. Now, RBI on PAYTM Payments Bank. The RBI has barred PAYTM Payments Bank Limited from accepting fresh deposits and making credit transactions from March 2024. This decision essentially bars PAYTM Payments Banks from offering all its core services, including accounts and wallets. Now, does this mean that the RBI has, cancelled the license of PAYTM Payments Bank? No. Actions is technically not a cancellation of PAYTM Payment Bank's license. It practically constricts the company's operations to a great extent. The operations of PAYTM Payments Banks are restricted to a great extent. They are not allowed to take any deposits or do any activity. They will have to comply by their, I would say, KYC norms first, and they will have to bring in the provisions with respect to cyber security or meet the IT standards which have been mandated by RBI for the banking firms. It is believed that the IT infrastructure is quite loose, where there is this leakage of information threat which can be done very easily, and the RBI is saying that we cannot compromise on the digital security of the people who have opened accounts or their data is there in this particular payment bank. Now we need to understand that what are payment banks. Background: it was payment banks were formed in India on the recommendations of Nachiket More Committee. Are they like scheduled commercial banks? See, not exactly. They are first of all small scale, operating at a small scale. There are certain operations which are allowed of a scheduled commercial bank in payment bank. Certain operations are not allowed. So we'll see what are allowed, what is not allowed. But yes, it aims to facilitate financial inclusion. It aims to cater to the people, or means extend the financial services to more and more people. That is why these payment banks were formulated on the recommendations of Nachiket More Committee. It was set up to operate on a smaller scale with minimal credit risk. Objectives: main objective is to advance financial inclusion by offering banking and financial services. Now, generally we tend to understand that financial inclusion is basically when the banking services are available to most number of people. But yes, it is not the case. Not only banking, but yes, insurance, pension, credit, investment, all these kind of financial services should be available to maximum number of people, and this payment bank was acting like an instrument of extending financial inclusion. It was set up to help the migrant labor force, low income households, small entrepreneurs, etc. Let's suppose migrant labor force, they are there, distant places, working, earning money. They can transfer that money to their family members in their villages through these payment banks. So payment transfer and all these kind of facilities were given by them. The payment banks in India, India currently has 6 payment banks: Airtel Payment Bank, India Post Payment Bank, Fino, PAYTM Payment Bank, SDL Payment Bank and Jio Payment Bank, of which this particular payment bank is under scrutiny right now of the RBI. Now, features of payment banks: they are differentiated and not universal banks or not scheduled commercial banks. Scheduled commercial banks, ICICI, HDFC, SBI, which you see, these operate on a smaller scale. The minimum paid up equity capital for payment bank shall be 100 crore rupees. The minimum initial contribution of the promoter of this corpus should be at least 40% of the first 5 years from the commencement of its business. It is registered as a public limited company under the Companies Act 2013 and licensed under section 22 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. So it is registered as a company under Companies Act 2013 and the licenses are issued to these payment banks under section 22 of the Banking Regulation Act. It is governed by a host of legislations such as Banking Regulation Act, RBI Act, Foreign Exchange Management Act, etc., etc. But yes, they are established as a company and registered under the Companies Act 2013. That we need to understand. Activities that can be done by a payment banks: it can take deposits up to rupees 2 lakh. Now in scheduled commercial banks there is no such limit, but here 2 lakh deposits can be taken at maximum. It can accept demand deposits in the form of savings and current accounts. The money received as deposits can be invested in secure government securities only in the form of SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio. This must amount to 75% of the demand deposit balance. Now the payment banks, whatever amount they are receiving, that can be invested by them in secured government securities or deposits. They are known as statutory liquidity ratio. They have to mandatorily do 75% of the investment in that, because see, banks will also earn from somewhere. So it is not like they're taking money, transferring to the people. How will they, disburse salaries to their staff? What profit will they earn? So that is what these banks, that is where these banks can invest, and statutory liquidity ratio is kind of a safe investment by the banks. The remaining 25% is to be placed as time deposits with other scheduled commercial banks. Now in the remaining 25% of the deposits which the payment banks have, they can be invested as fixed deposits, FDs, with other scheduled commercial banks like SBI, HDFC, ICICI. So in those banks you can create FDs. It can offer remittances services, mobile payments, transfers, purchases and other banking services like ATM, debit cards, net banking and third-party fund transfers. It can become a banking correspondent of another bank for credit and other services which it cannot offer. It cannot offer credit services per se. No credit card and all will be there, no loans will be disbursed by this bank. But yes, it can offer you loans on behalf of other banks. It can be the banking correspondent of other scheduled commercial banks like SBI, HDFC, ICICI and all, and it then can offer you loans. Those loans will be disbursed by those scheduled commercial banks only, but they can't do that. Activities that can't be done: it cannot issue loans and credit cards. It cannot accept time deposits or NRI deposits. So no FDs can be done over here. It cannot set up subsidiaries to undertake non-banking financial activities. Like, subsidiaries are set up by HDFC Bank, HDFC Ergo, insurance. So these payment banks cannot do that. So this is basically what can be done, what cannot be done. Now coming to the present case, RBI, what it has said. So RBI has debarred or barred PAYTM Payments Bank from offering practically all of its key services. PAYTM cannot accept deposits or top-ups in any customer accounts, prepaid instruments, wallets, FASTags, National Common Mobility Card, etc. after February 29. So, any of you having PAYTM FASTags or National Mobility Card, then you should try to, not put in money in that and try to utilize money from that as soon as you can. Accounts can be terminated. RBI said that nodal accounts of parent company, that is 197 Communications, and PAYTM payment services should be terminated at earliest and not later than February 29. This has to be done. Then settlement of all pipeline payments by PAYTM Payment Bank. Payments had to be done to many entities. That settlement of all pipeline transactions and nodal accounts has to be done. Settlement of all pipeline transactions and nodal accounts in respect of all transactions initiated on or before February 29 should be completed by March 15, and no transactions shall be permitted thereafter. Customers are allowed to withdraw or use the money. Customers can withdraw or use the money from their PAYTM accounts, including savings and current accounts, prepaid instruments, FASTags, NCMC, freely as long as they don't exceed their available balance. There is no timeline for that. But I said that you can exhaust it as soon as you can. So, because this is under scanner, nothing will happen to your investment. You should be very clear on this. You can use PAYTM to do UPI also, because your parent scheduled commercial bank is attached with that. Only PAYTM Payment Bank has come into picture, or the instruments like FASTag and all, they have come into picture. But that too, government has not said ki bhai, or the RBI has not said ki bhai, you have to use it or exhaust it by this much time. If you do not exhaust it, then after this, your amount will go in vain. It is not like this. So you can use it, and but you should not exceed the available balance. Now, reasons behind this move of RBI. PAYTM Payment Bank has been facing RBI scrutiny since 2018. We should understand this and know this. While the central bank did not specify the exact reasons for the latest action against PAYTM, experts believe that it could be due to RBI's concerns on KYC compliance and IT related issues. Now, the exact reason has not been clarified by RBI, but yes, this is what the experts believe, because PAYTM Payment Bank was under scrutiny since 2018 by RBI on these two factors only. So, probably these are the reasons. The central bank is against allowing any institution or banking entity to expose depositors' money to such risks. It has been discovered that PAYTM Payments Bank and its parent company 197 Communications were investigated by RBI because they did not have enough barriers to protect information within the group. So there should have been barriers placed to protect the information, which has not been there. Additionally, this is important, China-based entities which indirectly owned a stake in the parent company had access to data, which raised concerns. And according to the Personal Data Protection Bill or various other, I would say, advisories issued by the Government of India, or various other rules which have been implemented by Government of India with respect to data security, things were not in place, because data of Indians cannot go outside of India without the permission of the Government of India. And here, due to these relaxations or due to these IT breaches, the data was accessible to the Chinese based entities who have invested in the parent company. So this was a matter of concern, and that is why this, I would say, action by RBI is there for the PAYTM payments banks. UPI can be done. Your deposits are safe. No, don't worry about that. This is the thing which we need to understand. The next is Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund. This, if I have to abbreviate it, so Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund. Now, this is basically a sub-component of Infrastructure Development Fund. Infrastructure Development Fund is basically for development of infrastructure in the agricultural domain. Agriculture is a very broad practice. Cereal or crop agriculture is there, then animal husbandry is there, or poultry is there. So, horticulture is there, pisciculture is there, or let's suppose there are other things, many things in agriculture are included. So this particular scheme is for the animal husbandry sector, where animals are reared for gaining their products, milk products, their skin products like wool and all. They are also part of animal husbandry. Okay. Poultry and all is also part of this. So Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund to be implemented under Infrastructure Development Fund for another 3 years up to 2025-26. This has been extended. Government of India will provide 3% interest subvention for 8 years, including 2 years of moratorium for loan up to 90% from the scheduled bank. So 90% of uh, loan amount can be paid by the government if in case any investment fails, or 3% interest subvention simply means that uh, that suppose you've taken a loan and the interest rate which you have to pay on that loan is 8%. So effectively you will have to pay only 5%. The remaining 3% will be borne by the government. Under this, the government entities and cooperatives are not eligible to get benefit of this scheme. The government entities and cooperatives will not be getting benefit, but yes, any individuals or farmer producer organizations or any company which is there in this particular sector will get the benefits. Now about AHIDF, it is a central sector scheme. Central sector schemes are basically those schemes which are made by the center and implemented by the center. It has been approved for incentivizing investments by individual entrepreneurs, private companies, MSMEs, farmer producer organizations, and Section 8 companies. What will be established? Dairy processing and value addition infrastructure, meat processing and value addition infrastructure, and animal feed plant. All these will be established by this particular fund, for which interest subvention will be there. Now, objectives of this particular scheme is to help increase milk production and meat processing capacities and product diversification, thereby providing greater access for unorganized rural milk and meat producers to organized milk and meat market, to make available increased price realization for the producer. This will help in increasing the farmer's income, to make available quality milk and meat products for the domestic consumer. So it will help the consumer as well, to promote exports and increase the export contribution in the milk and meat sector. India is the largest producer of milk in the world. So we can export also, to make available quality concentrated animal feed to the cattle, buffalo, sheep, goat, pig and poultry, to provide balanced ration at affordable prices. So it is not only talking about productivity increase, it is also talking about quality inputs to those animals. Quality inputs are like what they eat, what we feed them. Okay. So we need to maintain or make available quality concentrated animal feed, so that good quality milk is produced, or good quality meat is produced, or good quality, I would say, animal products are produced. So this is basically what the crux of this particular scheme is. It aims to enhance infrastructure by providing interest subvention to the people, individuals, MSMEs, farmer producer organizations. Government entities are not eligible for this particular scheme. Good infrastructure will mean good productivity. Good productivity will lead to good incomes of the farmers, or better incomes of the farmers. So this is what the ultimate aim of this particular scheme is, that is Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund, which is a sub-component of Infrastructure Development Fund. This is going to continue till 2025-26. And with this, we end today's session. I will be meeting you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.